Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Gavoni Field, home of the Babson College Beavers, for today's NCAA Tournament Super Regional. Today, one way or another, Babson or their opponent, SUNY Cortland, will advance to the Division III College World Series. Babson trying to get there for the first time, Cortland trying to get back for the first time in 3 years. I'm David Tanklevsky alongside Chris Schuker. Pleasant day here in Needham, and a pleasure to have you with us here at Babson Park on just a beautiful late May afternoon. Chris, Babson held off a late-game flurry of runs by Cortland yesterday. They had an early 5-0 lead, able to win it in the bottom of the ninth inning, 7-6, a walk-off win. One win here in 2 games will bring Babson to the College World Series. What do you look for out of this team today, and what does Babson have to do to get to Iowa?
Well, it's a Babson team that's won 37 games so far this season. They simply know how to win. And a game like that yesterday, you put up 5 runs in the bottom of the first. You think maybe you're just going to cruise to a victory, but this Cortland team is immensely experienced in the postseason, very talented, obviously a very senior-laden team, outstanding coach as well. They were able to claw their way back. After that 5-run first, they put up 5 consecutive zeros. 5 consecutive zeros. They put up 4 runs in the top of the 6th inning to get their way back into it, tied it in the 7th, but from there, again, Babson, with their great leadership, they were able to claw out and get the all-important first victory, and they're the team in the driver's seat coming into the final day here of the Super Regional. They only have to win one of these 2 games to advance to the Division III College World Series in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, that starts on May 31st. I think they have to like where they're at right now, not just because of winning yesterday, but able to put Michael Gennaro out onto the mound today, and after forcing yesterday's starter for Cortland, their ace, to throw 129 pitches.
Oof. And we are underway. First pitch high and tight from Zach Durant. Durant, a big right-hander, heading off to start things off against the Babson shortstop Brian McHale. Durant tied for second in the conference, the SUNYAC, with 7 wins during the season, 7-3, an ERA of 2.97. And the count evens up at 1-1 on McHale, who fouls the 1-1 back behind us. McHale, the shortstop, will be followed by Connor Gill at second, Jake Olliger, the center fielder, to begin things here for Babson. A little bit different. Babson in the other dugout, the
it's
dugout
weird to
they're
see,
not
isn't
familiar
it?
to, yeah. And that just misses. Count evens at 2-2. If you're wondering why Babson's over on that third base dugout, Babson is the, for all intents and purposes, the visiting team here for Game 2. And if we go to a third game, they will be the home team once again. Ground ball to third, snagged there, pretty routine play throw, a little bit low, but picked up by Myers. And Schweitzer records the first out of the afternoon. So that'll be one down for Gill.
So yesterday was Matt Vallon who took the mound for the Red Dragons. He was the SUNYAC co-pitcher of the year. And again, Babson was able to get a hold of him a little bit. 6 innings, 5 runs, 7 walks. And that's what this Babson offense does. They are so patient at the plate.
Connor Gill, the second baseman, takes a called strike over the outside edge. Gill comes in second on the club. He's hitting .331, no homers, and 14 runs batted in. It's been a good spark plug for Babson throughout the year. This is a Babson team that came into today overall hitting at a clip of .290, second in the conference, and the count evens up at 1-1. Durant kicks and deals the 1-1, and that is low and away, 2 balls and a strike.
Gill missed a good part of the middle of this season with an injury. Played in 29 games so far. Mentioned the .331 average, but really a spark plug at the top of this lineup and changes the defense as well.
That one misses just inside, and it's 3-1.
Thomas Lapham was the second baseman while he was out. He switches over to third as Gill comes back in to play the Keystone.
We'll bring you all the starting lineups at the end of this first half inning. A line drive to center, coming in and making the grab on the quickly sinking line drive is Giordano for the second out. And the base is cleared through the first 2 batters by Durant. That'll bring up Jake Olliger, the center fielder. Olliger hitting at .342. That was 12th in the conference this year. 8 home runs, second on the club, and 53 runs batted in, the only Beaver to pass 50 RBIs on the season. And he takes a called strike at the waist.
Well, this is exactly what Durant wanted. Obviously, you have to keep McHale and Gill off the base paths in front of Ollinger. Too dangerous.
The 0-1 misses a little bit low. Durant this year, as we mentioned, 7-3, ERA of 2.97. He gave up just 21 earned runs in 63 and 2/3 innings. It's a ground ball towards third, slowly hit, picked up by Schweitzer, has to hurry, and he makes the play to retire the side. So Babson goes in order in the top half of the first, and at the end of half an inning, no runs, no hits, nobody left on. Babson scoreless, and Cortland coming to the plate. And Chris, take us through the starting lineups here. We didn't go through the Beavers either, so let's take a look at both of them.
Happened so fast.
That's right.
So Cortland is going to lead off with Colin Bavard, a junior left fielder. Scott Giordano is a junior. He's the center fielder. Batting second, Dan Schweitzer, the senior third baseman, bats third. Wyatt Myers cleans up. He is a junior playing first base. James Varian, the sophomore catcher, bats fifth. Matt Bruno, the designated hitter and a freshman, bats sixth. The seventh place hitter is Marcos Perry-Valeris. He is a senior playing second base. Joe Tardif, a junior right fielder, bats eighth. And Andrew Mahalski is a freshman shortstop, batting ninth. As we already mentioned, Michael Gennaro, who is at the top or near the top in many all-time categories for this team. He is on the mound for Babson.
Yeah, Gennaro coming in at 7-3, an ERA of 1.79. Led the conference this year in innings pitched, 80 1/3 innings pitched, allowed just 16 earned runs, and he was very, very good for Babson in his first appearance of the playoffs. He pitched in Game 2 of the NCAA tournament. The second game Babson played, went 8 innings, gave up 1 earned run, picked up the win. No walks and 7 strikeouts, and stepping in as the left fielder, as Chris mentioned, Colin Bavard, as Gennaro tries to send Babson to the College World Series. First pitch, right down the middle for a called strike. Gennaro works very quickly, left-hander. Doesn't throw super hard, but very, very efficient. Doesn't walk many batters. And right away, ahead in the count 0-2 as Bavard swings past a fastball. The 0-2 high and away. As you mentioned, Chris, Gennaro, the guy that Babson wanted on the mound today in a closeout game. Don't want to give Cortland the chance to send it to a winner-take-all Game 3. This one is lined up the middle, stomped at short. Going to have to hurry. McHale throws quickly, not in time. And it's an infield single for Bavard, the leadoff man on board for Cortland.
I think you got to credit Dave Simon, the first base umpire, who's the crew chief. He got that call right. Bavard beat the throw from McHale. The shortstop kind of had to wait for that second bounce to get to him. And Bavard, a lot of speed, able to beat it out. It's the right call. Bavard, 8 for 9 in stolen bases on the season.
And that pitch, a strike over the outside edge. Yep, those stolen bases tied for most on the club. Neither Cortland or Babson steal a ton of bags. They haven't really had to. They've had so much offense.
Right.
But they do have the ability to. Of course, tough with the lefty on the mound. Gennaro throws over to first, and Bavard is back. Giordano, the hitter, the center fielder, comes in at .333. 4 homers, 45 runs batted in. And that one just misses outside. A ball on a strike.
So Bavard, the runner at first, is one of 9 players on Cortland to have first team All-SUNYAC this year. And the man at the plate, Scott Giordano, the player of the year.
And Giordano takes one low and in. You're right. It's just this lineup, when you take a look through, it's a pretty impressive lineup. Coach Joe Brown has been at the helm here for many, many years, 20th season, and it's a powerhouse. You don't always see a lot of these out-of-conference teams in this area. But up and down the lineup, guys that can beat you as the pitch is fouled off.
9 guys make the all-conference first team. Come on.
It's an all-star team.
Exactly. And that's what Joe Brown has built, though. Or I should say continued to build. It started even before him, 27 consecutive years in the postseason.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, my goodness. What they're able to do there.
Pitch misses high and the count goes full. A great year for Cortland in the conference. They went 18-0, undefeated. Like Babson, they actually lost the conference championship game. Runner goes, pitch swung on and hit foul towards the seats and out of play. They let me park over there, but I purposely parked as far
You have
away
to.
as I possibly could from the field.
You have to be strategic with it.
Yeah. That was in my general direction, but thankfully.
You want a souvenir, but not through the windshield.
Yeah, exactly. The 3-2, this one swung on and golfed high in the air towards shallow left. McHale going back. McHale is going to be called off, and it is Brown who makes the catch for the first out of the first.
So Brown is the left fielder, Nicholas Brown. Jake Olliger is in center, Eric John in right. Left side of the infield is Thomas Lapham at third and Brian McHale at short. Connor Gill is the second baseman with Matthew Valente at first. And Aiden Scott doing the catching here in Game 2 of the series.
Pitch from Gennaro in there for a strike. That's right, this is Scott's first start of the tournament. Gennaro on the mound for the second time. We mentioned he pitched so well in that first appearance of the playoffs. That was at Trinity, a 4-1 win for Babson. And that is swung on and missed, 0-2. Bavard still the runner at first, led off with a single. Schweitzer would be followed by Myers. Dan Schweitzer led the Suniac with a 386 average overall. Pitch is high, 4 homers, 28 batted in. To your point, Chris, 9 regulars in the Cortland lineup out of about a dozen players that saw multiple starts hit above 300.
Yeah, Schweitzer, Bavard, Matt Bruno, who is batting 6th in this lineup. Andrew Mahalski played 34 games, but only started 11. He's the shortstop.
This one fouled off, and the count remains 1-2.
But their whole lineup is built on players of or first-team members of the conference: Giordano, Varian, Myers, Perry Varela, Schweitzer, and Bavard. 6 guys, and Giordano.
And they finished first in almost every category in their conference. First in runs, hits, home runs.
And then, of course, yesterday's pitcher was the pitcher of the year, and today's pitcher also made the first team.
That's right. This one swung on and hit towards shallow right, playable for John, comes in a couple of steps, makes the grab, and there is 2 down following the leadoff hit.
First baseman number 11, Wyatt Myers.
We'll bring up Wyatt Myers, 306, with 7 homers, 42 runs batted in. He was tied with Bavard for the most home runs in the conference. So Cortland, as Babson found out yesterday, capable of putting up a lot of runs in a hurry. They got rid of a 5-0 lead in 2 innings.
Yeah, once you get to tournament time, obviously, there's no such thing as resting or taking a knee, taking the air out of the ball, whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Nope. You got to keep pounding out as many runs as possible. 5 in the first is nothing.
Babson held scoreless this time in the top of the first. Runner goes. Throw down to second is a little bit late. And Bavard, after dancing around for a couple hitters, able to swipe second base, get himself into scoring position with 2 outs.
Yeah, it may have taken a little longer than he would have liked. The pitch, by the way, was a strike to the cleanup hitter Myers. But with 2 outs, Gennaro doesn't mind that.
Focused on the man at the plate who
Right.
swings and fouls it off, 0-2.
We can get through Gennaro's numbers as we move along, but he is the NUMAC pitcher of the year. Which is why winning yesterday against Vallon was so big for Babson.
The 0-2 is high and away. Yeah, this group of seniors for Babson, Gennaro among them, not ready to go home yet, and with a great opportunity here to pick off Cortland and head to Iowa for the first time as members of the College World Series. Long way to go, though, of course, and they've got a formidable opponent. 1-2 is low and away, 2-2.
You don't want to be too careful with Myers. You still want to come right at him, but his 306 average is middle of the pack for this Cortland team
for
that
this
hit
lineup.
313 coming into today's game.
Pitch from Gennaro is a check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. And the first inning comes to a close. Gennaro picks up his first strikeout, and after a leadoff single, Cortland strands the runner at second. No runs on a hit, and one man left. We go to the second scoreless in Game 2 of this best-of-3 series to determine who advances to the College World Series here on BabsonAthletics.com. Well, you take a look at starter Zach Durant's numbers there on your screen for Cortland. Had a really good year, and he started off well in the top of the first, shutting down Babson in order. Beavers trying to get something going here in the top of the second with Nick Brown, the left fielder, and the cleanup man at the plate. First pitch from Durant misses high. Mentioned Durant with one appearance so far in the playoffs. He got the win. 5 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, and that one's in there for a strike. 2 runs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. This group of Cortland starters have been up and down in the tournament. They are 2-0, but an ERA close to 5 as a unit. This one swung on and popped towards left, out of play, giving chase, but not able to track it down as the left fielder, Bavard.
Good run by him. Lots of foul territory room here at Gavoni Field. Down both lines, maybe a little bit more down the left field line than right, with especially with the tarp down in that area.
This one swung on and ripped towards left center field. Again, Bavard heading back, now settles under it and makes the catch for the first out. Brown retired, and that's 4 in a row to start things off for Zach Durant. We'll bring up Eric John, the right fielder. John comes in at 265, couple homers, 43 runs batted in, and looks at strike 1. And the 0-1 just outside. If you're just joining us, the way it works today, it's a best of 3, but game 1, the Babson win yesterday, makes it so that if Babson wins this first game, that's all she wrote. The Beavers advance. If not, we will play a second game. So there's a call at strike 1 and 2. And that second game would start roughly 20 minutes after the first. Of course, Babson fans here don't want to hear anything about a possible doubleheader today. They'd like to win this one in 2. That one hit towards foul territory, right over towards the tarp. Tardif gave chase a long way, but it's out of play.
As we look out, you might be able to see it on the camera there towards what is currently the Babson dugout down the right field line. A lot of green. Look to our left, though. You can't see it on camera, obviously. A lot of white and red, and I love to see that. So many fans making their way from Cortland. It's about almost a 6-hour drive from campus to campus.
Wow.
Good for them to get down here and try to cheer on their team to what they hope was a doubleheader sweep today.
1-2, misses low, 2-2. Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better day today.
That's true.
I know yesterday was very windy here, but today's been beautiful. We've had a lot of rain the last couple of weeks. This one swung on and ripped up the middle, base hit. Babson has their first base runner of the game. John takes a wide turn But it's a base hit to start things off with one down, and the Beavers have their first base runner.
Hitter number 9, Edward Laird.
And Lair will try to drive him in. Lair at 300 on the year. A couple homers, 36 runs batted in. Right-handed hitting DH this afternoon. 1 on and 1 out for the Beavers, and that ends a streak of 4 straight retired by Durant. The pitch misses low. Babson starter yesterday, Bell, took a perfect game, I think, into the 5th. And that was ultimately broken up. Cortland came rushing back to eventually tie the game at 5. They traded runs in the 7th and 9th innings, and then Babson won it in the bottom of the 9th on a 1-out single. Pitch misses low, and it's 2-0. And as Chris mentioned, as you mentioned earlier, it's so big because they were able to beat the SUNYAC co-pitcher of the year, Matt Vallon, and then send their ace to the mound today. And it's fouled back, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And it's not like, well, either pitcher is a pushover today. Durant or Gennaro, obviously, neither one of them a pushover, but now pressure all falls on Zach Durant here. Done a good job so far.
2-1 misses outside, 2-2.
So far, and it's early, obviously. We're only in the 6th batter, but it seems like Durant has had a bit of a tough time getting that curveball over. He's left it outside to a lot of these right-handed hitters early, and there's a lot of righties.
This one popped up, skied into the shallow outfield grass. It's going to be the second baseman, Perry Valeris, calling for it and making the grab for the second out.
Now hitting for the Beavers, the first baseman, number 2.
John still at first, and Valenti, the first baseman, comes to the plate, trying to keep this thing going for Babson in the second. Valenti, 285, 28 runs batted in. Comes in hitting 277 in the tournament, and he takes a fastball high.
Durant's also had a tough time throwing strike one.
I was going to say that, yeah, he's fallen behind the majority of hitters here. Still early, and he has recorded outs. He's retired 5 of the first 6 Babson hitters. Runner holds. The pitch swung on and golfed on the ground towards short. They'll go to second and get the force out to retire the side as John retired at second 6-4. Babson picks up their first hit. They strand 1 but fail to score. And at the end of 1.5, Babson nothing, Cortland nothing here on BabsonAthletics.com. Back here at Babson Park, James Varian, the catcher, will lead things off in the bottom of the second against Michael Gennaro. No score in game 2 of 3, of possible 3, in this NCAA Super Regional. First pitch is fouled off over the screen. Talked a little bit in the first inning about how powerful this Cortland offense is. This pitch again fouled off, giving chase, but out of play into the second round of stands as Valenti goes over there. This is a team that against Tufts in the regional earlier this week or last weekend scored 28 runs in 2 games. They beat Tufts 10-5 and 18-5. And that one's fouled off again. So the fact that Babson held them scoreless for the first 5 innings and to 6 runs overall, it's pretty good for this the way Cortland's played in this tournament.
10 and 18 runs in a regional.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pitch misses 1 and 2. And as we said, their starters have struggled at times throughout the tournament, but it hasn't really mattered. Their offense has been so good. This one hits slowly and foul up the third base line. They reeled off a crazy streak this year from March 22nd to April 27th. They lost 1 game. They had an 11-game winning streak. They lost at Ithaca, then they won 11 more in a row. 22-1.
Yeah, well, you'll go 18-0 in conference play. That's right when conference play starts.
That's right. That one is lined into left field, a base hit. Second time in a row that Cortland's put the leadoff man aboard with a single.
Varian's first hit here as he went 0 for 3 with a walk and a strikeout yesterday. Also had that throwing error in the first inning that brought in the game's first run for the Beavers. But the good hard single past the diving third baseman, Thomas Lapham.
And another leadoff man aboard for Cortland as Matt Bruno comes to the plate. Bruno swings at the first pitch, hits it on the ground to third. Lapham to second for 1, on to first. Not in time. A nice play by Lapham on a hard hit ground ball. He gets the lead runner. And there's a runner on first now with 1 out.
Bruno was one of the big hitters yesterday. He had 3 hits, all singles. One of them brought home a run, but he also stole a couple of bases, so keep an eye on him over there at first.
And that'll bring up Perry Valeris, who takes ball 1. Hit .298 during the season, couple homers, 16 runs batted in. Number 7 hitter and the second baseman looks at ball 2 low.
Bruno was 8 for 9 in stolen bases, but again, 2 for 2 yesterday.
Gennaro delivers the 2-0, swung on and missed. He swings through a changeup. One of the things Gennaro's been so good at throughout his career is limiting base runners. 6 walks in 80 1/3 innings.
Yeah.
And as mentioned, Babson starters, no walks in 28 innings in this tournament. That pitch misses low, it's 3-1. No walks and 21 strikeouts in 28 innings for Babson starters.
Behind 3-1 now, though.
That's right, the 3-1. Swung on and ripped towards left field. Not going to get down. Oh, it falls out of the glove of the left fielder, Brown. And Brown hangs his head. He knows how costly base runners can be. And instead of a man on first and 2 down, there's 2 on and still only 1 out on the fielding error by the left fielder.
An error by Brown, but yesterday Perry Valeris was 3 for 4 with a triple and scored 3 runs. So the 2 batters who had 3 hits are batting back-to-back in today's lineup.
And here is Tardif, the right fielder, who fouls it off 0-1. So a hit, a fielder's choice, and an error, and the first real rally of the game for Cortland here in the bottom of the second. 2 on, and still only 1 out. That ball was just in and out of the glove of Brown.
Babson made 2 errors yesterday.
0-1 in there for a strike, and they have him caught between second and third. The throw comes down to the first baseman, and everyone moves up. The catcher, Scott, threw it down to first base to Valenti, and by the time Valenti received the ball, Bruno had moved up to third and Perry Valeris up to second. A couple of costly miscues.
So either Bruno missed the sign or Perry Valeris saw a sign that wasn't there.
And that one misses high, 1-2. Yeah, you're right, because it was Perry Valeris who was caught between first and second. He was in the middle.
Yeah, what you want to see in that case is Aiden Scott run to the middle of the diamond. Throw to first behind the runner. Everybody's able to advance the 90 feet.
Bruno dances off third. Here's a grounder to third, picked up by Lapham. He's going to have to hurry to go to first. Gets the out at first, throw back down to third in time. A 5-3-6 double play. The run scores before the third out is made, and Cortland gets on the board. It's 1-0 Cortland in a wild bottom of the second inning, an unusual double play. The third base coach and the head coach, Joe Brown, yelling at the third base umpire. Brown did not like the call. He thought his runner was safe at third. Bruno comes around on the unearned run. So 1 run in the inning on 1 hit, 1 error, and nobody left on. That's wild.
A bang-bang play over there at third, but just my opinion, there's no reason to be trying to get the third on that play. You're in scoring position. You don't want to make the third out at third base. You're hitting the ball against a really good pitcher, against a really good lineup. And Babson as well. I don't think there's any reason really for Perry Valeris to try to get the third. I guess I get it. A ball to the backstop, you're able to score. And they did score on a pass ball yesterday. That's actually how they got their tying run in the top of the 9th inning. But perhaps maybe a little bit too aggressive. I don't know if you can truly fault him for that. You're trying to keep the pedal to the metal there. And it came back to bite them. And I think if he had been called safe, I think you would have heard an argument from Matt Noon, head coach of Babson, on the other side. It was that close of a play where whichever call was made, the other team was going to be upset with it.
Yeah, Joe Brown not pleased with the call. We start the top of the third. Cortland now up 1-0. And the pitch misses outside to the catcher, Aiden Scott. Heads-up play by Valenti. Made that out at first and then fired back over to third. Heads-up play by McHale, who came over to cover. So it's a 5-3-6 double play. Pitch is outside, and it's 2-0 on Aiden Scott. And he fouls it off 2-1. So Cortland does get on the board first, and they take their first lead of this series. But certainly not the way they wanted to end the inning. Scott swings and pops this one towards routine center field. Couple of steps in, and Giordano makes the catch for the out. Scott has not played in the tournament until today, making his 12th start of the year and his 15th appearance in a game. And that'll bring up Lapham, the third baseman. Made a nice play on that ground ball to start the unusual double play in the bottom of the second. That pitch misses high, 1-0. Beautiful day and a good crowd here. I think they have 1,200 yesterday.
I wrote it down. 1,025. I knew it was somewhere. It's just a matter of finding it.
It's gotta be close to that now.
1,025 was the attendance yesterday.
Jeremy counted every single one. Pitch misses low, 3-0. Not a person over. And there's a strike on the inside corner, 3-1. Lapham 296 on the year, 20 runs batted in. Swings and hits this one hard towards second. Couple steps to his left goes Perry Valeris and throws to first for the out. Babson's gone through the lineup now, and they've had just 1 hit and 2 base runners.
Yeah, and a nice job there by Durant. Fell behind 3-0. Might have gotten a bit of a gift call on the inside corner strike that Lapham tried to turn his way out of. And then he gets the routine ground ball to second base, so he gets through the 8-9 hitters here to lead off the third inning. Turns it back over to the top of the order with the bases empty and 2 down.
And that brings up McHale, and he takes an off-speed pitch high. Zach Durant is a junior right-hander. Tallest member of the Cortland roster at 6'5", 195. And that one misses as well, 2-0.
Living dangerously, though, falling behind these hitters, 1-0, 2-0.
Yeah, seemingly every Babson hitter has been ahead in the count. That one's in there for a strike at 2-1. McHale grounded out to lead off the game. 2-1 pitch. Catches the outside corner, and things even up. That'll make Coach Noon pause over at third base. Thought that one was a little bit off the outside edge. Protects the plate, swings at a outside breaking ball and fouls it off towards the parking lot, 2-2.
Durant, second on the team coming into this game with 60 strikeouts, but has yet to have one so far, one time through the order.
Another pop fouling out of play, and it's 2-2.
Of course, it's a Babson team that strikes out fairly regularly, 296 times they struck out. That's about average.
2-2, swung on and missed, and there you go. First strikeout of the game for Durant, and he gets the strikeout to end Babson in the top of the third. 2.5 innings in the books. Babson trailing Cortland 1-0 here on BabsonAthletics.com. Back in a moment. Back here at Gavoni Field, we go to the bottom of the third. Cortland leading Babson 1-0. And leading things off, Andrew Michalski, the number 9 hitter. He takes a called strike from Michael Gennaro. Looks to bunt and takes it high. Meeting between these two teams yesterday was their first in 33 years. They last met in 1986. Here's a grounder to the right side, fielded at first over to the pitcher covering, and in time, nice play by Valenti. Had to go a long way to his right to record the out of Michalski, and for the first time, keep the leadoff man off the board.
That's a nice play there by Valenti. A long underhand toss to Gennaro covering, but they did it to perfection.
So the lineup turns over. There's a called strike to Bavard, who singled, stole a base in the first, and was left stranded at second. 0-1 pitch hit hard but foul down the third base line. Well, with their win yesterday, Babson improves to 37-8. That's their best record in school history. Swung on and missed. And down on strikes 3 in a row goes the dangerous leadoff man. That'll bring up Giordano. Babson's 3 best seasons have been the last 3 years. And the one thing they have in their favor, well, among other things, is playing here at home. They've been so good at home over the last couple of years. First pitch swinging, one bounce to Gill at second, throws over to first for the out, and a very quick and efficient third inning for Gennaro. No runs, no hits, no errors, and the first 1-2-3 inning recorded by Babson. We head to the fourth. Beavers still trailing the Red Dragons 1-0 on BabsonAthletics.com. Top of the fourth, Babson trailing Cortland 1-0, and Connor Gill, the second baseman, will come to the plate against Zach Durant, who has allowed just 1 hit in the first 3 innings and hasn't allowed a Babson runner past first base. Gill lined out his first at bat. He takes ball 1 low. followed by Olliger and Brown. And the 1-0 is outside, 2-0.
You got to figure eventually this Babson team that's taken 221 walks this season be able to take advantage of some of these times where their hitters are getting ahead of the count.
Yeah, nearly every single hitter has been ahead 2-0, 2-1. You guys want to hear some breaking news? Can I break some news?
Should I sit down?
I think you should sit down.
Boy.
It's not really Babson related, but it's baseball related.
Uh-oh.
Mike Yastrzemski, Carl Yastrzemski's grandson, from Massachusetts, this morning was called up by the San Francisco Giants.
Good for him.
Yeah. 7 years in the minor leagues. Local kid.
I love those stories.
Isn't that cool? Just thought I'd break a little news. The 2-0 pitch. Misses high, 3-0. Mike is actually a friend of a friend, so I had a little bit of inside knowledge there, but very cool. He spent 6.5 years in the minor leagues. A little inside baseball, that's right. And the 3-0 is in there for a strike at the knees, 3-1.
The Giants are the team to break in with, though. They are a struggling bunch out there.
That's right. And the 3-1 is ripped into left field, base hit. Nice at bat by Gill. Worked the count into his favor and picked up a leadoff single. Second hit of the afternoon for Babson off Durant. And for the first time, they've got the leadoff man on.
So we've had 4 hits so far in this game, all singles. Yesterday, the two teams combined for 16 hits, 14 of which were singles. Only 1 extra base hit per side. Double by Valente for Babson, triple for Perry Valeris for Cortland.
Yeah, a little surprising given how much firepower both these teams have in the lineup. Ball in the dirt, runner goes, throw down to second is not in time. And Gill will reach second on the wild pitch. Babson has a runner in scoring position for the first time.
And I think Varian was surprised to see Gill going. He picked the ball up cleanly. It was a great block. Knocked it down just to his right. He was able to pick it up with no problem. And he kind of double clutched on the throw. I think that allowed Gill to get in there, as Varian did everything right on that play except throw the ball right away.
Yeah, Varian made a nice stop, came up, hit him right in the chest protector. And the throw took a bounce. Mihalski not able to apply the tag. And Brown is going to come out and have a meeting here with his infielders. This is where you can feel that it's the playoffs. Only the 4th inning, 1-run lead, but already with a man on second base, Cortland wants to make sure they know exactly how to approach the number 3 hitter, Jake Olliger.
Yeah, and not just the playoffs, but a must-win game for the Red Dragons. I think that's maybe the difference. And that's not to say that Matt Noon for Babson is going to take a rest here and, not push the envelope and try to get this win, because certainly he doesn't want to go to a third game, but the desperation is on the team whose dugout is right below us and it's in the field right now. Joe
Brown's had a lot of success here with Cortland. They won a national championship for the first time in school history in 2015. They have not made the College World Series in 3 years. And, of course, Babson trying to get there and get through the Super Regionals for the first time. 1-0 the count on Olliger, and he calls time. Olliger grounded out to third his first time. He'll be followed by Nick Brown, the cleanup man here in the top half of the 4th.
First RBI opportunity for the Beavers, and they have their RBI man at the plate, 53.
Rips this one down the left field line, and it's a fair ball. Oh, foul. Just foul by about a half an inch.
Yeah, it was definitely foul, but not by much. He was just out ahead of that high fastball. Just turned on it a little too much. Foul by maybe 6 inches at the absolute most. But again, at 53 RBI, this is the guy you want up, and dodging a big bullet there was Durant, but count just 1-1 on Olliger.
After that long meeting on the mound, Olliger called time and then ripped that ball down the left field line. It was the hardest hit ball for a Babson hitter today. 1-1. is a
Great
strike
pitch.
on the outside corner. Nice pitch, 1-2.
Great pitch. Comes back with the off speed away from the power hitter. That's a great job by both Durant and certainly by the catcher Varian as well.
Hollinger came in hitting .263 in the tournament, .342 overall. Swings and misses at a fastball. What a battle between Hollinger and Durant, and Hollinger just missed, cut right through a fastball, and there's one down.
So now you go from the team's leading RBI man in Jake Hollinger to the team's leading home run hitter in Nicholas Brown with 11.
Brown, the big lefty, flew out to left field his first time, chops this one foul down the first base line. Yeah, the only player in double figures for home runs on the Babson team.
And that is tied for second in single season program history. 13 is the record.
Who's that, Arena? I'd have to
Write
look
that down.
It's like,
I only have so much space to write.
that one in there for a strike, and it's 0-2. Yeah, Brown certainly capable of putting Babson in the lead with one swing. Infielders back except for the shortstop who holds the runner on. Swing and a miss. And down on 3 strikes goes Brown.
Durant bearing down when he needs to against the 3-4 hitters. Hollinger and Brown strikeout after the near extra base hit that would have tied the game that just went foul. And a chance to get out of this and maybe turn the momentum back to the Red Dragons' favor.
Yeah, Babson
1-0.
putting the leadoff man on for the first time, moving him over to second with nobody out. And Durant has so far been able to work his way through trouble. There's a breaking ball on the outside corner.
John did lace a single to left center his first time up.
Swung on and fouled off, 0-2, and Durant a strike away from striking out the side.
And if that happens, just watch right below you. You will see the white and red come racing out of the dugout. Rightfully so.
Long stare in, gets a signs from Varian. Working from the stretch, 0-2. Fouled off towards the parking lot. Count remains 0-2. Durant trying to bear down again and work his way through this 4th inning. The pitch, low and away for ball 1. No runs on 2 hits so far for Babson. The 1-2 from Durant. Breaking ball just misses outside, 2-2. A run on 2 hits, no errors for Cortland. No runs, 2 hits, and an error for Babson. The 2-2. Swung on and hit towards shallow right. Could drop, and it will. Here comes the runner toward the plate. The throw from Tardif will not come in, and Babson has tied it up 1-1.
Wow, so close to getting out of that was Durant and Cortland. And Eric John just got jammed and was able to muscle on past Perry Valeris, who was pulled a little bit up the middle against John. And he was able to fight that off to the opposite field and just bloop it in with 2 outs. Gill off on contact and able to score easily.
That one misses outside, 1-0.
I can't believe you strike out Hollinger and Brown and then you give up that little jam shot to Eric John.
Yeah, John certainly didn't get the barrel of the bat on that one, but was able to put it just between the second baseman and the right fielder, tie this game up. Swinging a drive towards center field, drifting back, Giordano waits under it and makes the grab to end the inning. But Babson gets a run on the 2-out single by John to tie the game up. 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 left on. And after 3.5, Babson and Cortland tied at 1 in Game 2 of the Super Regional here from Babson Park. Last of the fourth, Babson and Cortland now tied at 1 as the Beavers put 1 run across with 2 outs in the top of the fourth. Eric John with a little bloop single into shallow right field to tie this game up at 1. And the number 3 hitter, Dan Schweitzer, will lead things off in the bottom of the fourth. Gennaro delivers a ball high and away. And this one swung on and skied in the air towards the Babson dugout, giving chase is Scott. He had it pop in and out of his glove right in front of the Babson dugout. Great effort by Scott. Didn't look like he saw it till a little bit later.
Yeah, he didn't know which way to turn. He looked straight up, and the ball was heading towards his own dugout down the first baseline. But because he didn't locate it right away, he wasn't able to set his feet. First baseman Valente, pitcher Gennaro couldn't get over there either, so the ball falls harmlessly.
1-1 is just outside. 2 balls and a strike. Gennaro's making his 4th start in an NCAA tournament game. 2-1 with a 3.33 ERA. Grounder over to third. This one's picked up by Lapham, and he makes the routine throw over to first for the out, and all of a sudden that's 5 in a row retired by Michael Gennaro. Cortland's last base runner came with 1 out in the second. And that'll bring up Myers, who was the first strikeout victim of Gennaro's, to end the first. That one misses high. And Myers takes a strike 1-1. Myers 5 for 16 with 5 RBIs in the tournament. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Nasty pitch by Gennaro, and he slipped it by the cleanup hitter. Gennaro working quickly with no one on. The 1-2 swung on, hit towards left center field, coming in and falling right in front of the center fielder Olliger on a bounce. 3rd hit of the afternoon for Cortland.
Now batting for the Red Dragons, the catcher, number 34, James Varian.
So another single, that one falling in left center field. 6 hits now in this game, and all of them singles, 3 apiece. That'll bring up Varian, who had a single in the second. Swings at an off-speed pitch, hits it towards left field, drifting back and making the grab is Brown for the second out.
Some good shots hit today by both sides, but the ball's not carrying as well. Very little wind, really not a factor at all.
Yeah, the last couple days have been super windy. But you're right, very, very calm day today. Beautiful afternoon. Here's Bruno. Reached on a fielder's choice back in the second. Fouls it off towards the parking lot. 0-1. And that one swung on and missed. 0-2.
Knocked his helmet askew with that humongous swing.
Yeah, wild swing. 0-2 on the DH Bruno. Gennaro again trying to get out of the inning and put up a 0. Swung on, fouled
great
off
fight.
beyond the screen.
I don't know if it was a strike. It might have been low, but maybe too close to take on 0-2, and a great job to foul that off. See another pitch.
Gennaro holds Myers on at first, delivers low and in. Babson came in today ranked 7th and 9th overall, depending on the poll and the NCAA. Cortland 19 and 20. These are both some of the best teams in Division III across the country. Swung on and fouled off again towards the parking lot. Myers battling here. He's down 0-2. Bruno. And he swings and hits this one to third. Little leap for Lapham, and in fair territory makes the catch on the line drive. Myers with a 1-out single, but he doesn't advance past first base. Second base runner left on for Cortland. after 4. We're tied at 1 between Babson and Cortland here on BabsonAthletics.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for these men and women who have given so much to serve our country.
And a pause here as Babson recognizes veterans, members of the armed services. Stand up for a quick round of applause, and of course, kudos to them. We head to the 5th, tied at 1. We'll be back in a moment here on BabsonAthletics.com. You can see those stats on your screen. Babson 36-5 here at home, dating back a couple of years, trying to pick up one more win in advance to the NCAA Division III College World Series. Top of the 5th, tied at 1. First pitch, a strike to Matt Valenti, the first baseman, who's 0 for 1. Swings at the second pitch and lines that one into right field. Well struck. Valenti goes the other way, and Babson has the leadoff man on for the second straight inning.
Now it is the Beavers and catcher, number 18, Hayden Scott.
4 hits now for the Beavers. They are 2 for 5 now, leading off innings, and that'll bring up Scott, the catcher, who flew out to center his first time. Hits this one on the ground, and that's into right field for a base hit. Babson moves station to station. Valenti stops at second. Beavers have a rally going on the first few pitches thrown here in the 5th.
Yeah, 3 pitches, 2 runners on.
First baseman, number 45.
Durant had a hard time throwing strike one. Well, he finally did to each of these 2 batters, but he's given up back-to-back singles to the 7-8 hitters. So now Thomas Lapham, who's not exactly a typical 9 hitter.
But Lapham's going to turn and look to bunt, takes the bunt away, and the pitch misses low and outside.
So quickly, David, you mentioned how the dominance of Babson here at home. We're looking at Cortland. They're just 7-9-1 this season on the road. In true road games, I'm talking about true road games. 7-9-1 this season. That's a bit surprising.
Yeah, I saw that, especially for a team that was undefeated in the conference, won so many games. There's a bunt, again, foul.
Yeah, he bunted it twice.
Can't do that.
Now, yeah, bunted it down and then back up, so it's a foul ball immediately. He hadn't left the box yet.
But yeah, absolutely. And the way Babson's played here at home, the confidence they have here, you figure this is such an important turning point in the game. If Babson could take a lead, they'd be very tough to they're very tough to beat here at home with the lead late. The 1-1, high and outside. Lapham grounded out to second his first time. Beavers now with 5 hits. So far, just the 1 run to show for it. Infield is in pretty much all the way around for Cortland, looking for the possible bunts. Lapham's not bunting, and he takes it low, 3-1.
So I mentioned that Lapham's not typically a 9 hitter. He did bat towards the top of the order, a 2-hole earlier in the season. But I'd be surprised if he's swinging away here. I think this is the time where you want to force him to throw 2 strikes.
Now he's looking to bunt, the 3-1. He takes it away, and it's outside for ball 4. What a time to issue the first walk of the game. It'll load the bases with nobody out here in the top of the 5th.
Well, this is the chance right here. Obviously, bases loaded, no one out. This is the chance to not put the game away, but really put a big dent in it. And not surprising to see all 4 infielders now in on the lip of the grass or in front of it, as the first baseman, Myers, is.
Brian McHale, the leadoff man, takes it outside. McHale 0 for 2 on the afternoon, hitting .238 coming into today in the series, and Coach Brown wants to go out and have a chat with his starter, Zach Durant.
Yeah, and he needs to. Durant is a junior, so he's not exactly a young guy out there, but you need to settle him down, make him throw strikes. It's tough to McHale. His next hit will be number 200 for his career and one off the Babson career list. But you have to go out there. Not just talk. You can see he's not even just talking to the pitcher. In fact, he's ignoring Durant. He's talking to his infielders. Now he's talking to his pitcher.
Home plate umpire Roger Wolf coming out to break this up. Brown has long meetings out there. He'll talk.
Hey, what are they going to do? Give him a technical foul? This is baseball. Well, so really, there's no harm in talking for as long as he will let you until, all he can do really is throw you out of the game. And, geez, if you're going to get ejected for that, then
at this point,
more power to you than if you're the plate umpire. And I think Joe Brown knows that. 20th year, he's only been a head coach at Cortland through his career. 745 wins. Coach of the year in the SUNYAC.
1-0 to McHale is outside 2-0. Cortland does have someone warming in the bullpen. It's a senior left-hander, Jake Casey. And Brown's going to have a very short hook in a game like this, possible elimination game. 2-0, swung on and hit hard, but fouled down the left field line right by the bullpen. That's why you have a guy out there when someone's warming up. Salisbury, another reliever, just making sure that a rocket doesn't hit someone out there. 2-1, bases loaded, nobody out. Best scoring opportunity of the day for Babson. The pitch. Swung on, hit in the air towards center, should score at least a run. Giordano going back, makes the catch, runner tags, throw's going to come into the shortstop, and Babson takes the lead 2-1.
So Valente scores from third. The other two runners, Scott and Lapham, have to stay at second and first respectively, as the center fielder Giordano realized he was not going to get the runner out at home, so throw it in towards third and keep those two runners there. Double play ball, and Cortland's got to be feeling really good about themselves.
Yep, they'd certainly have kept this closer than it could be. 2-1 the score, still just one down. And the pitch misses high to Connor Gill. Gill 1 for 2, scored Babson's first run last inning. So the Beavers have their first lead of the game at 2-1. Gill would be followed by Olliger, unless Cortland could turn the double play. There's a fastball high and tight, 2-0. And Durant has really fallen behind so many hitters today. But he's been able to, for the most part, battle out of trouble.
Very little early count swinging, but the two times it did happen resulted in the first two runners getting on base in this inning.
2-0 is a called strike on the outside corner. This part of the order, top part of the order for Babson, hasn't done a whole lot so far this afternoon. Just 1 for 8 with a sacrifice fly. That's the first 4 hitters. 2-1. In there for a strike on an off-speed pitch. Nice one, and it floats in at 2-2. Beavers put the first 3 batters on base in the inning. Pair of singles and a walk. McHale scoring Valente with the sacrifice fly to put Babson in the lead 2-1. Now Babson trying to get some insurance runs here in the 5th. Once again, if you're joining us, Babson is technically the away team, so they're batting in the top half of the innings here. If we do see a third game, Babson would go back to being the home team. So they're batting now in the top half of the 5th inning, and Cortland has last ups in this game. 2-2 from Durant. Swung on, hit high in the air, center field. Again, Giordano drifting back towards the track, pretty deep. Makes the catch. The lead runner will tag. The runner at first will tag, and they will both advance on the deep fly to center.
Oh, that's great base running by both of them, Scott and Lapham, as the throw from Giordano came towards third. And second baseman and shortstop kind of set up a double cut situation. The first baseman didn't trail Lapham on his way to second, so it allows both runners to get there. Cortland now just 1 out away from allowing only the 1 run in the inning, but Again, here's Oliger with the chance to do some more damage.
And Cortland thinks that they thought that Lapham left first base early, so they throw over to second on appeal. And the umpire there at second, Rudy Fernbach, says he's fine.
Again, another thing that it can't hurt to try.
Yep.
No penalty for being wrong.
Hollinger 0 for 2 today. Takes it low and away. Well, this is probably the biggest at bat of the game so far for Babson. 2 on, 2 out, and a run in. Durant delivers the 1-0, and a called strike on the outside corner.
It's been a struggle for Durant in this inning, but again, it needs to be mentioned. If he's able to get Oliger here, that's a big, big win for the Red Dragons halfway through the game.
Working from the stretch, the infield back, the 1-1. Swung on and chopped in front of the mound, picked up by Durant, throws to first in time, and Cortland works their way out of trouble. Bases loaded, nobody out, and Babson able to convert that into just the 1 run. They get a run on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left. Beavers have left 4 for the game. We go to the bottom of the 5th. Babson does take the lead. They're up 2-1 as we're halfway home in Game 2 of this best-of-3 series in the NCAA Division III Super Regionals. Well, for the first time this afternoon, Babson is in the lead. They're up 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Michael Gennaro still on the hill. Second baseman Perry Valeris steps in for Cortland as they try to tie this one back up. First pitch misses high. The 1-0 swung on and popped up. High, skying pop in fair territory. The first baseman Valenti calls for it and makes the catch for the out. And that will bring up Tardif, who hit into that bizarre double play to end the second inning, so for 1. And that's in there for a strike, 1-0. Babson does have a couple of pitches starting to just get loose in the pen. Insurance measures. That one's hit on the ground to short. The throw pulls Valenti off the bag, but he does apply the tag to Tardif and gets the second out. Throw by McHale pulled him up the line towards us. But there are 2 down. Gennaro's allowed just 1 base runner since the second. There's a called strike to Mahelski. And that's in there for a strike, 0-2. Trying to get a pitch count for Gennaro, but he's been working so quickly and efficiently, haven't had the chance. Hasn't thrown many.
No, hasn't had to. Set down 9 of the last 10.
And he's allowed just 1 base runner per inning in every inning but the second, the 0-2. Swung on, hit hard to third and caught. A low line drive picked up by Lapham before it hit the ground. And Babson retires Cortland in order in the bottom of the 5th after scoring the go-ahead run in the top. We go to the 6th, Babson leading 2-1 here on BabsonAthletics.com. Top of the 6th here at Babson. Beavers leading Cortland 2-1. Game 2 of this NCAA Super Regional. And leading off the 6th will be Nick Brown, the left fielder. We do have an updated strike count for you. Gennaro's thrown 67 pitches through 5 innings. Durant's thrown 86. And that pitch a strike on the outside edge. And Chris, we've been right on the hypothesis that he struggled to throw strikes. 58% strikes from Durant. Ground ball into right field. Another base hit for Babson. Brown is aboard for the first time. 3 straight innings the leadoff man has reached, and Babson now with 6 hits against the junior Zach Durant.
Yeah, 3 straight innings putting the leadoff man on, and each of those first 2 leadoff men were the 2 that have scored for the Beavers. So they get that leadoff man on. They're able to cash in.
And that'll bring up Eric Jean, and he takes a strike. John had the RBI single in the 4th on a little blooper into right field that put Babson on the board, tied the game up. He's the only player with 2 hits today. And takes ball 1 low.
Yeah, I don't think that ball got more than 20 feet off the ground.
No.
But it will look like a thing of beauty to him, especially if that does in fact hold up as the game-winning RBI.
Yep, that just fell in. This one swung on, ripped down the left field line towards the Cortland bullpen and out of play. Babson 2 for 9 with men on base. One of them was John's single to score the run, and the other was a base hit by Aiden Scott last inning. Babson got 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and they lead it 2-1. 1-2 pitch. Misses high and away, 2-2. Well, Michael Gennaro putting Babson in position here to close this out. This hit on the ground towards short. Double play ball. The second for 1 on to first. Not in time as Brown went in pretty hard at second base. And there's 1 down. So 1 down and a man on first. That brings up Lair, who's 0 for 2. Flew out to center with a runner on base to end the 4th. Swings at the first pitch, pops it up, shallow right. Behind the first base bag and straddling the foul line is Perry Valeris, who makes the catch for out number 2.
Now into the Beavers, the first baseman number 2, Matthew Valente.
And that brings up Valente, who scored the go-ahead run last inning. 1 for 2 with a single. Now 2 left-handers throwing in the Cortland bullpen. That one misses for ball 1. The 1-0 in there for a strike, 1-1. Jake Casey still throwing in the bullpen for Cortland, as that one misses, 2-1. And another lefty, looks like Isaiah Hudson, a senior. This could be it for Durant. He's approaching 100 pitches. The 2-1 misses high. And this one hit on the ground into center field. That's a base hit past the reach of the second baseman, Perry Valeris. Babson with a 2-out rally, 2 on and 2 out for Aiden Scott.
I believe that was Durant's 99th pitch. He was at 86 coming into the inning, correct?
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, so he's at 99 now.
He's faced 25 batters, about 58% strikes.
I remember Valen yesterday threw 129.
And Scott takes a strike.
And it probably felt like half of them came in that first inning.
Yeah, I'm sure. 126 is kind of the top end of what you see. Oh, 1 swung on and hit down the first base line. That's a fair ball down the line. Myers picks it up and steps on the bag. That one just hugging the line all the way down.
It was fair, then foul, then fair.
That's right. So the 2 on, 2 out rally comes to an end for Babson. No runs on 2 hits and 2 left on. We go to the bottom of the 6th, still 2-1 Babson here on BabsonAthletics.com. Bottom of the 6th, Babson still with a ways to go, but 4 innings away from their first appearance in the College World Series. Still a 1-run game. As we move to the last of the 6th, Gennaro still on the mound, swing and a miss from the leadoff man, Colin Bavard. Chris, you want to take us through some of those out-of-town scores when we have a minute here?
Sure.
Bavard pops this one up, first base side. Valenti calling for it. In the back of the infield dirt, makes the catch, 1 down, and that is now 6 in a row retired by Gennaro. Just 1 base runner since the 2nd inning for Cortland. And bring Giordano to the plate, who's 0 for 2.
So this is day 2 for all of the Super Regionals across the country, across Division III baseball.
This one again popped up, foul territory. Valenti again heading over a couple feet to his left from where he made the first out, makes the second in foul ground. Quickly 2 down in the bottom of the 6th.
So the game that's furthest along, other than this one, of course, is Washington and Jefferson, who lead Misericordia 4-2. That's Washington and Jefferson trying to close out that series after they won last night 8-3.
First pitch misses outside to the number 3 hitter Schweitzer. He's 0 for 2.
The only other game with a score is Heidelberg over Worcester 3-1. They're in the top of the 4th, and Heidelberg trying to sweep that series as well.
Pitch is inside 1-1.
They won 8-5 yesterday. Battle of Ohio.
Little blooper towards shallow right, but picked off by the second baseman Gill.
More to come later after that 6-pitch inning.
That's right.
7-pitch.
Very quick bottom of the 6th, and Babson continues to mow them down behind the solid pitching of Michael Gennaro. So we'll move to the 7th, 2-1 Babson here on BabsonAthletics.com. Top of the 7th inning, Thomas Lapham will lead things off for Babson. They have a 2-1 lead over Cortland in Game 2 of this NCAA Super Regional. Called strike on the outside corner to Lapham, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and a groundout. Zach Durant back on the mound for Cortland as the pitch misses outside. He's now over 100 pitches. But the big story so far has been the pitching of Michael Gennaro. This one swung on, hit on the ground to second. Perry Valeris throws high, and he throws it away. Nice job backing it up by the catcher, Varian. And that will keep Lapham at first, but what should have been an easy out puts a runner on first.
Yeah, that ball took a last weird little hop on Perry Valeris, and it bounced up into his midsection. And he kind of had to rush it a little more than he expected, and he threw wide. But how about the play by Varian to read the angle perfectly and back that up and almost pick off Lapham having rounded the base.
Here's McHale. Breaking ball in there for a strike. No, you're totally right. Great play by Varian.
You know, those catchers have to do so much, and he's done a great job so far blocking the ball in the dirt. That's an underrated play right there.
A 1 is fouled to the backstop, nothing in 2.
How many times would you not see a catcher even move? Just assume it's the play's gonna be made.
Routine grounder.
Yeah, he not only backed up, but he saw the angle perfectly of where a bad throw would go.
0-2, swung on and popped into right field. Drifting back is Tardif, settles under it, makes the catch for the first out, and Lapham will stay at first.
So some more scores. You have just underway Johns Hopkins and Shenandoah. It is the Blue Jays having a 6-3 win yesterday to get on top first, and another New England Super Regional, UMass Boston and New England College with the Beacons having won yesterday 5-4. All the home teams won everywhere, all the host teams, I should say, except for Concordia, Chicago, and Misericordia. So actually 6 of the 8 teams that are hosting were winners yesterday.
And that is going to do it. Joe Brown's going to make a pitching change here for Zach Durant, who's coming out after 107 pitches, and he battled today. It kind of got harder for him as the day went along. Didn't allow more than one man to reach base until the 4th inning, but Babson has had multiple base runners every inning since then, and we do have a pitching change coming to you here from Gavoni Field. 1 man on, 1 man out, and the score 2-1 as Zach Durant comes off the mound to applause from his teammates.
So for Durant, 6 1/3 innings so far. The 2 runs both earned. That runner on first, Lapham, would be charged to him, but it would be unearned because of the error. Mentioned the 7 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts for Durant, who, again, in and out of trouble all day long, but ultimately very well in what would be considered, per the rule book, a quality start.
Yeah, certainly pitched well enough to keep Cortland in this game against a really good Babson lineup. Worked his way in and out of trouble all day. We talked about it early on. He definitely struggled a bit to get in front of hitters. But he'll give way to Isaiah Hudson. Hudson, number 28, is a senior left-hander out of Hyde Park, New York, from Franklin Roosevelt High School. You can see his numbers there, 2-3 with an ERA of 4.5.
42 strikeouts in the 34 innings. That's an impressive number. And only 10 walks. That's not a terrible amount, but 27 runs and 17 earned. So defense kind of let him down a little bit when he's been out there. But obviously, got to be one of the most trusted men out of the bullpen for Joe Brown, because this is the time they're running out of outs. 9 left offensively for the Red Dragons. They need stops.
Certainly don't want to give up an insurance run here. 1 on, 1 out. Left-hander Hudson now on the mound. First pitch is to Gill, who fouls it off. Connor Gill 1 for 3, a single, 2 flyouts, and a run scored. He's hit a couple of balls hard towards center field. McHale, who flew out to right as the last batter that Durant faced, still sitting on 199 career hits. He's trying to become the second player in Babson history to reach 200. This is swung on, lined into left field. Base hit. Beavers have 2 on with 1 down in the 7th as they try to put a little bit of distance between themselves and the Red Dragons.
Now back to the Beavers, the center fielder, number 42, Jake Hollinger.
Yeah, obviously a 2-1 lead, not good enough for Babson, having seen the explosion that Cortland can put on you offensively. They saw it single-handedly, and just yesterday it was in the 6th inning, so we're past that mark at least, but 4 runs in that 6th inning, and then another one in the 7th to tie it, but only for that half inning before Babson reclaimed the lead. This was yesterday in Game 1 of the series. They need to keep adding on.
Good chance to do so here. 2 on, 1 out. Breaking ball for a strike. Ollinger definitely thought it was a little bit low. Maybe a little bit inside.
Great pitch, though. Throw the off-speed pitch, the little balloon pitch. I didn't think it was ever going to get there. Great job to work ahead. Start backwards and get ahead in the count.
Hudson will be happy if he can get that strike call over. The 0-1 is low, 1-1. This bullpen for Cortland in the NCAA tournament, 1-1 with an ERA of 3.71. The bullpen's actually been better in terms of ERA than the starters, and they've thrown just about as many innings. The 1-1, breaking ball low in the dirt. Lapham, the lead runner, took a couple steps towards third, but he'll stay at second. Still 2-1.
He did not pitch yesterday. The bullpen arms were Dan Hobbs and Chris Puzakulics.
The 2-1, breaking ball in there for a strike, and it's 2-2. Nice pitch.
Wow. He can come in with the heat, and then he can drop that on you.
Babson has now out-hit Cortland 8-3. Pitch. Swung on and he just fights that one off into foul territory towards the bullpen. A couple of Babson relievers running out of harm's way.
You want what little shade there is out there. That was coming right for them.
A couple of Babson relievers dodging for safety. Hudson checks the lead runner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 down. Babson with a 1-run lead. The pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground at third. Takes a high hop, race to the third base bag, and they got him at third. Schweitzer made the play and then just racing Lapham to the bag, and he gets a big, big out at third base.
And that was right. He did beat him to it. Lapham had to go on the force play, and Schweitzer almost lackadaisical on that one a little too much. He waited for it, and then he realized he had to come in on it because he was not going to be able to throw across the diamond, was certainly not going to win a race to the bag. So it had to be a pair of head-first dives and fielder beat runner. Big second out.
So 2 down, runners on first and second. There's a called strike to Brown, who's 1 for 3 with a single. Hudson has pitched quite a bit out of the bullpen in this tournament. Last time out was against Tufts on the 19th. Went 5 2/3 innings after spelling the starter Kavanaugh, who went just 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. He pitched in both games against Tufts. Last time out, 5 2/3. That was his longest appearance of the year. But Hudson hasn't pitched now in 6 days, so he should be pretty rested. 0-1. Fastball swung on and missed. Blew that one right by him.
For Hudson, it's his 19th appearance on the season, which is one behind the 2 guys who came out of the bullpen yesterday, Hobbs and Puzakulics.
So Cortland obviously going with the relievers that they most rely on throughout the year. And they'll win or lose with them. The 0-2. Swung on and missed, struck him out, and Babson fails to score in the inning in which they had 3 base runners as Hudson comes in and gets 2 huge outs to keep this game close. And at the 7th inning stretch from Babson, Cortland and the Beavers battling it out. Babson up 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the 7th here on BabsonAthletics.com. Bottom of the 7th inning, Babson still up by just a run. First pitch swinging. This ball is lifted towards shallow center field. A long way, and it falls out of the glove of Olliger. Myers is going to be safe at first. A looper towards center field. Took Olliger a long, long way.
Well, it's time to get the bats going, and sometimes maybe that's what it takes. You don't have to hit it hard. You have to hit it in the right spot, and that was in the right spot. Olliger made the long run in from center field. Couldn't make the basket catch. Maybe that's what opens the floodgates.
Here's a bunt right out in front of the plate, picked up by Scott, fires to first, and it's in time. Now running down towards second to make sure Myers can't advance any further. So it's going to be ruled a hit for Myers, and that's the first hit for Cortland since the 4th inning. James lays down the sack bunt, and Scott retires Varian 2-3. So
this is the time.
Tying run at second.
And they need to do it.
Bruno fouls it back to the screen, 0-1.
How many chances are you going to get against Gennaro or this bullpen? You assume you'll see Max Tannenbaum and Henry Leake and William Gallagher. Now's the time. This runner needs to score.
0-1. Swung on and hit foul, 0-2. Gennaro has thrown a complete game on the year. He's also thrown 9 innings, 9 full innings twice. One of those was a game that went into extra innings. Babson beat Clark 1-0 in 10. So he's gone deep into games many times this year, and he's done the same this afternoon. The 0-2 reaches out, hits it on the ground towards second. Gill gets it, throws to first for the second out, and the tying run goes down to third. So Myers going station to station, and it comes down to Perry Villaris.
And that's not the worst thing for either side. That's an 0-2 pitch away that he's able to take the other way and advance the runner to third, but it's not the worst thing for Babson either because now it makes 2 outs. Cannot score on an RBI ground out, on a sac fly. Scott needs to block everything in the dirt. Defense needs to knock it down at the very least.
And Noon goes to the mound. He hasn't signaled for a pitching change. There are 2 relievers that have been throwing for the last half inning or so in the Babson bullpen. And he's going to stick with Gennaro. Just wants to make sure everyone's on the same page as they face the number 7 hitter, Perry Villaris, who's 0 for 2. Gennaro has allowed just 2 base runners since the 2nd inning. And trying to close out Cortland in the 7th, the tying run at third base. A win puts Babson in the College World Series. A loss brings us to Game 3, an elimination game. That pitch is outside, 1-0. Perry Villaris with Tardif on deck, the bottom third of the order here, 0 for 6 this afternoon off Gennaro. Swing and a miss on a fastball, 1-1.
Yeah, but 3 hits yesterday for Perry Villaris, including a triple. The one of only 2 guys, or 3 guys on either side to have multiple hits. In fact, all 3 belong to Cortland.
1-1, fouled off to the screen, 1-2. And as you mentioned, Chris, Perry Villaris, he's been quiet today, but he's had quite a tournament. Came in 7 for his last 14. He's had a very quiet afternoon off Gennaro. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Runner dances off third. The pitch misses outside, and the count evens at 2-2. Babson's infield back, outfield back. Still a couple relievers throwing short toss in the Beavers bullpen. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on, popped up.
Nobody sees it.
Right by the plate, looking for it, coming in and diving to make the catch as a third baseman Lapham, and that'll end the inning. Unbelievable play by Lapham. In foul territory, Thomas Lapham came out of nowhere. I think you were right, Chris. I don't think Scott saw the ball. He had no idea where it was coming down, and Lapham came flying in from third base, diving to the ground right in the on-deck circle to make the catch to end the inning. So no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on. Babson 6 outs away from advancing to the College World Series. They still hold that sliver of a lead at 2-1 here on BabsonAthletics.com. Top of the 8th inning here from Gavoni Field. Babson leading Cortland 2-1 in Game 2 of this NCAA Super Regional. Isaiah Hudson back on the mound for Cortland. First pitch to Eric John misses low. Hudson came in with 1 out and a man on in the 7th. Gave up a single, but then got the next 2 guys to get out of the inning. Pitch is low. Babson has left 8 men on base. There's a strike on the outside edge. They've left 2 men on in each of the last 3 innings. So this 2-1 lead could be much more, but Cortland's been able to tamp down any damage. Ground ball foul up the first baseline, still 2-2.
Last half inning, I said Cortland needed to get that leadoff guy in. Now I'm going to flip it around and say Babson needs to get some insurance.
Yeah, Beavers holding the slimmest of leads in a game that certainly feels like it could be more high scoring than 2-1. Pitch is inside. Quick change, that fly ball hit by Myers to start the bottom of the 7th. That was ruled a single. That's been changed to an error on the center fielder Olliger. And that's ball 4 outside. Hudson did not like the call. He hops off the mound and stares in at the home plate umpire, Roger Wolf.
The designated hitter, number 9, Edward Lair.
But Babson again puts the leadoff man on. 5th straight inning that they've successfully got that first batter on base. And that'll bring up Lair, who's 0 for 3. Infield back to try to turn the double play for Cortland. Pitch from Hudson. They look bunt. He bunts it up in the air. Catcher dives for it. Makes the play. Fantastic play by Varian. And the bunt wiped off the board.
Wow, Varian has been incredible today. Blocking balls. Blocking an errant throw from going into the dugout perhaps, or at least getting the backstop. That diving play, that ball didn't get 15 feet off the ground. Big first out without advancing the runner.
Couple of great defensive plays by both teams in foul territory here. One by the third baseman for Babson, Lapham, to end the 7th, and another here to prevent Babson from putting a man in a scoring position. There's a called strike to Valenti, who's 2 for 3. And he looks at strike 2. Valenti and John, Valenti, John, and Gill have multiple hits for the Beavers. Valenti, a pair of singles and a run scored. Scored that go-ahead run in the 5th.
Babson had only 5 hits yesterday and no one with multiple hits.
Yeah, and just 3 hits this afternoon for Cortland. We mentioned all the runs they were putting up earlier in this tournament. This one swung on, hit into right field, going to bounce for a hit. Rounding second, heading for third. Here comes the throw, going to be close. Out at third. And safe at second. Heads up play by Valenti. He advances to second, but that big out made at third as John is cut down at third base.
So a single there for Valenti, and then that'll be 9-4-5 on the out of John at third, and then almost got Valenti trying to get down to second base. It was very close. Valenti with the head for a slide got in there, and let's not overlook that call because now it's a runner in scoring position with 2 outs, and Scott, who did have a base hit in the 5th, the chance to tack on that insurance run.
Aiden Scott, .286 hitter during the season as a backup catcher. Pitch from Hudson is in there for a strike. Yeah, definitely, Chris, as you mentioned, a heads-up play by, good throw by Tardif, and then a great throw by the second baseman right on the money there to third to get the lead runner. John,
yeah, it's a perfect relay throw. John made it close at third, but it was a perfect relay throw.
And as you mentioned, the throw back down to second nearly got Valenti. This one fouled off to the screen, 0-2.
So we're talking about a great play, great heads-up base running by Valenti that almost turned into, Valenti, what are you doing?
That's right. Yeah, if you're out on that.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the way baseball, playoff baseball is. It's so close. They say it's a game of inches. This is a game of millimeters.
Certainly this afternoon it has been. The 0-2 fouled off towards the Cortland dugout. In the bottom half of the 8th, it'll be 8-9-1 for Cortland. Tardif, Mihalski, and Bavard.
Yeah, so they got to be feeling pretty good. Regardless, they're either getting their middle part of their order to up in the 8th or the 9th. If they can keep this a one-run game.
Left-hander Hudson checks the runner. The 0-2 low. Ball gets away. Heading over to third goes Valenti. He takes the turn at third on the pass ball by the catcher Varian.
I don't know if he got crossed up there or whether he just didn't catch it, but it didn't hit the dirt, and it kind of kicked off maybe the heel of the catcher's mitt and rolled to the brick backstop. Doesn't mean much unless it happens again. There's still 2 outs in the inning.
Yep, 1-2 the count. Varian, who made that great play on the foul pop-up bunt by Lair, now gives Babson opportunity to get that insurance run just 90 feet away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hudson again working from the stretch. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Blew a fastball by him, and Babson's at-bats come to an end in the 8th as the Beavers leave 1 on. They get 1 hit in the inning, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. This one's still somehow a 2-1 game at Gavoni Field. We'll be back in a moment. You are watching the NCAA Division III Super Regionals on BabsonAthletics.com. Bottom of the 8th inning, Babson leading 2-1 in Game 2 of the NCAA Super Regionals here from Gavoni Field. Michael Gennaro still on the hill, and as he has all year for Babson, he has been a rock of dependency. First pitch, though, bopped into left field, and Tardif has a single, the tying run on with nobody out in the last of the 8th.
putting him in a scoring position. And that might be what this meeting is about, because remember the last time that happened, you almost had a third base vacated.
That's right, but I think Noon is making the change, yeah. After 7 innings of work, 7+ innings, and just 85 pitches, 63 strikes, Michael Gennaro comes off, and you can see the ovation he's getting from fans and his teammates. So Babson will make a pitching change with the tying run coming to the plate, and you could see, or the tying run at first base, the go-ahead run coming to the plate, and you can see William Gallagher, the right-hander, is the new reliever for Babson.
So much Gennaro, 7+ innings. The one run that was unearned so far, responsible for the runner at first, 4 hits, 2 strikeouts and no walks, and this is a guy in Gennaro who's 183 career strikeouts coming into this game, was second in program history. He only has 2 to his name through the 7+ innings of work, but obviously in line for the win. Cannot lose it even if this runner scores. But a great job by him. I'm a little surprised by the quick hook here, but when you have these 3 guys lined up, your big 3 relievers, Gallagher, Leake, and Tannenbaum, I don't think you can fault Matt Noon for heading out to his bullpen.
Gallagher 1-0, as you can see on the year, an ERA of 2.64. Allowed just 9 earned runs in 30 2/3 innings, 16 walks, 37 strikeouts, and opponents hitting just 124 against him. He's a junior from Kingston, Mass., went to Silver Lake Regional High School, a right-hander. And he's being called on in a tough situation to try to keep Babson in the lead. He did pitch yesterday. Gallagher went 1 inning. He gave up 2 hits and 1 run as a reliever. Gave up one of those runs that allowed Cortland to come back into the game and ultimately tie it before losing 7-6 in their final at bat. So,
I was saying, remember the last time Cortland bunted, Babson almost left third base vacated, would have allowed the runner to take 2 bases, so can't have that happen again.
Michalski looking to bunt, puts one down the third base line. Lapham goes to second. Got him at second base. Huge play by Thomas Lapham for the first out.
Yeah, bad bunt. He bunted it right to the charging third baseman, Lapham.
The Red Dragons, the left fielder, number 30.
You could see that Lapham was going to be the one charging. You want to put that up the first baseline.
Lapham has made a couple of superb defensive plays here late in the game. That brings up Bavard, who is 1 for 3, throw to first, runner back safely. So Michalski not able to get the bunt down to advance the runner. He got the bunt down, but it wasn't a great one. And Lapham throws out the runner at second base. All of a sudden, Cortland down to their last 5 outs. Throw over to first, and Michalski back safely.
Now you have your good hitters up. You're back to the top of the order, Bavard, Giordano, Schweitzer, and Myers, with the tying run on base. So still good things can happen for Cortland in this inning.
Bavard takes low. He's got a 12-game hitting streak going. Dates back now more than a month. Hit streak began on April 25th. 8 hits in 21 at-bats over his last 5 games. Gallagher working from the stretch, the 1-0. Fastball misses in, and it's 2-0. So Gennaro departs after allowing just those 4 hits. Fastball swung on and missed, 2-1. Cortland has not scored since the second. They've had just 4 base runners since then. And just 2 hits. Michael Gennaro, the pitcher of record for Babson at this point, the 2-1. In there for a strike at the knees, and it's 2-2. Giordano waits on deck. He's also 0 for 3. Or Bavard 1 for 3, Giordano 0 for 3. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. They hold the runner at first. Pitch from Gallagher. Check swing, ball in the dirt. Runner goes. Here's the throw from Scott to second, and not in time as Michalski swipes second to get into scoring position.
So, nothing lost there.
Yeah, it's a wash, yeah.
The only difference difference is now the count is full on Bavard.
And Coach Noon still pulling strings. He's got two right-handers throwing in the Babson bullpen. The 3-2. Swung on, hit hard towards center field. Going back is Ollinger towards the wall. Settles under it, makes the catch in the middle of the warning track. Tagging up and heading to third goes Mihalski with 2 outs.
Ball was tagged well, but Ollinger seemed like he had that one lined up all the way. And just watching the body language, he was very confident backpedaling here on his home field.
And another advantage of playing here at home because that ball was hit pretty deep. Ollinger was able to get under it right about the middle of the warning track. And once again, the tying run at third with 2 down. Just like last inning, we'll bring up Giordano, who's 0 for 3. Pitch from Gallagher. Fastball outside, 1-0.
Again, Aiden Scott behind the plate will be asked to block everything in the dirt. He's going to have to be big.
Second straight inning, Cortland's had the tying run at third with 2 down. Check swing, good stop by Scott, and he went around. And the count evens at 1-1.
Hard to believe that Giordano is 0 for 3 as the player of the year in the SUNYAC Conference. Fly out to left, pop out to first, and ground ball to second.
1-1 again in the dirt. And low for ball 2. Scott has made a couple of great stops behind the plate.
Very good back there. What he's been needed.
Making his first start of the playoffs. Has been solid defensively. The pitch swung on, hit on the ground to second. Gill takes it on the big hop, throws to first for the out, and Babson 3 outs away from sweeping Cortland. Still a tight one. 2-1 the score as we go to the top of the 9th. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on for Cortland. After 8, Babson 2, Cortland 1. Back in a moment here on BabsonAthletics.com. Heading to the top of the 9th inning, Babson leading Cortland 2-1. Beavers trying to get an insurance run here against Isaiah Hudson, and it will be the number 9 hitter Thomas Lapham leading things off. He takes a called strike. Lapham 0 for 2 today, reached on a walk and on an error. He'll be followed by the 1 and 2 hitters, McHale and Gill. And the pitch fouled off far away, 0-2. What a run it's been for Babson. They ended up losing to their rivals MIT in the NUMAC championship. They were not champions this year for the first time in a couple years. Called third strike on Lapham, who takes one looking over the outside edge. But then they picked up an at-large bid, and they've been very, very good in this tournament, 4-1. And now 3 outs away from getting further than any Babson team has, but a long way to go. A good Cortland team, good Cortland lineup, and their 3, 4, and 5 hitters coming up in the 9th. There's a strike to McHale, who's still sitting on 199 career hits.
Yeah, and you mentioned the 2, 3, 4 hitters, or 3, 4, 5 hitters due up.
That one's outside, 1-1.
And that's why it's so important for Cortland to get up and down from this inning, still only trailing by a run.
The 1-1 outside. 2 balls and a strike. Hudson a long look in, kick steals the 2-1 on the outside corner for strike 2. McHale 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. His fly ball to center back in the 5th is the difference in this game up to this point. The 2-2 hit foul up the third baseline. Babson's plan all along was to have Gennaro go deep into this game, then give it over to the bullpen. That's worked out so far, but of course they'd love the insurance run. Here's a deep fly to right field, but out of play and foul. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. This one hit hard into left field, base hit. Line drive past the dive of Schweitzer. And Babson now with their 10th hit of the game. 10 hits and all of them singles.
Yeah. Hasn't been an extra base hit to be had in this one.
That's right, 14 hits in this game. And that brings up Connor Gill, the second baseman. He's 2 for 4 with a run scored. And there's a strike on the outside corner. Just a reminder to set the scenario here. If Babson wins, they advance to the College World Series. If they lose this game, we'll have Game 3 of this best-of-3 series about 45 minutes after the conclusion of this one. Runner goes. They haven't picked off. Throw from first down to second. Goes into left field. Safe at second base is McHale. And there's a runner on second with 1 out.
Oh, they had him. Hudson, the lefty, had him out, but the throw from the first baseman, Myers, was well wide of the shortstop covering the bag. Mahalski couldn't reel it in. Runner had to stay at second, though. Couldn't get to third. But now in scoring position with 1 down.
Yeah, Hudson had him picked off with a good move, left-handed pitcher. And it was just a bad throw by Myers. So 0-1 the count on Connor Gill. Singled his last time up. They hold the runner closely at second. The 0-1. Breaking ball, big looper of a breaking ball in there for a strike, 0-2.
He's pitched well since coming in. He has allowed a couple of hits, but he's also picked up 3 strikeouts, 1 in each inning that he's been in there as Isaiah Hudson.
Yeah, Hudson's now pitched 2 innings. And the 0-2. High and away, ball and 2 strikes.
Good spot, though. Good spot for that fastball. Up and away. See if he comes back in with that big, slow curveball.
Hudson checks the runner McHale at second. And steps off. 2 teams that were among the class of Division III in this pocket of the country. Babson won 15 of 17 conference games. Cortland went 18-0. And they've battled here to 2 close games. Babson trying to eke this one out. The 1-2 from Hudson. Breaking ball, swung on, popped up to second. Easily playable there, and the catch made by Perry Valeris for the second out. That brings up Olliger, who's had a quiet day, 0 for 4, and reached on a fielder's choice. And they're going to intentionally walk Olliger to get to Nick Brown. So they have a lefty-lefty matchup. And now Brown calls time. And the infield will come in to meet at the pitcher's mound. Well, Brown clearly would rather have the matchup lefty against lefty here than to have Hudson facing Olliger. Brown today 1 for 4, 2 strikeouts, a base hit, and a flyout. Babson has 2 men on. Here in the top of the ninth, a very tight second game of this best of three. Hudson picked up the win on May 19th against Tufts in that 18-5 victory for Cortland. Hudson was the winning pitcher of that one. Noon is trying to tell McHale to extend his lead over there at second. Says you have plenty of room.
Yeah, you have whatever the shortstop will give you.
Pitch swung on and missed. Brown swinging for the fences on the first pitch from Hudson.
That could make the difference between scoring and being thrown out, or scoring and being held at third. He's got a couple more feet he can take.
Yeah, the shortstop, Mahalski, really sagging off of him. Hudson checks the runners. The 0-1 misses high, a ball and a strike. This game has been so tight here for the last 4 or 5 innings with a lot of base runners, but no runs coming across, that you feel like if Babson could break through here, they'd be in a lot better position going into the bottom of the ninth. Again, Hudson checks the lead runner, the 1-1. Swung on and missed, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Brown with a couple of monster swings. Brown has hit safely in each game of the tournament, including this one. Ball and 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out. Pitch from Hudson. Swung on, hit fair up the first baseline. Hudson had to hurry. Everybody's going to be safe. Hudson tried to pick up the ball and barehanded it. Took him a long time to get over to it. It was hitting the no man's land between the pitcher's mound at first base, and the bases are going to be loaded with 2 outs.
Well, it was probably the only play he had was to barehand it to make the quick flip, but once he didn't get it, nice job by Perry Valeris at second base to come in and not allow that runner, McHale, to think about coming home. So still no damage yet.
Bases loaded, 2 down, and Eric John at the plate. He's 2 for 3. Swings and misses on a fastball. McHale, the lead runner, at third. Olliger at second, and Brown at first.
And John Single back in the the fourth. Right now goes in as the tying run.
The 0-1 misses outside, 1-1. Babson trying to break this game wide open. They scored once in the fourth, once in the fifth. Cortland's lone run came in the second. 2-1 ball game, top of the ninth. Game 2 of the Super Regional. 1-1 from Hudson. Fouled off to the screen, a ball and 2 strikes.
I've said it before. We'll say it again. If Cortland can get out of this, bases loaded, keep this at a 1-run game, they'll explode out of the dugout. They'll have the momentum heading into the last of the ninth.
Babson left 2 men on base in the 5th, 6th, and 7th. Once 1 man on base in the 8th. They have left 9 for the game. The 1-2. Swung on, popped towards right field, giving chase is Tardif, gets into foul territory, makes the grab, and retires the side. And just like you said, Chris, Cortland dodges a bullet as we go to the 9th.
I'd like to see a little more energy from them coming out of the dugout, though. That's a huge pickup by Hudson. They should have exploded out to the foul line. I'm surprised they only just walked out casually.
No runs, 2 hits, no walks, and 3 left on. So Babson has now left 12 runners on base. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Beavers making a pitching change. Babson goes with number 28, Max Tannenbaum, who is their closer, to try to finish this one off as we go to the bottom of the 9th. And Chris, you had to assume that Noon was going to go with Tannenbaum here in the last of the 9th to try to close this one out.
Well, it's set up perfectly for him. He got what he wanted from Gennaro. Gallagher came out as the middleman, and now you go to your big-time closer in Tannenbaum. He couldn't have drawn this up any better, except maybe to have another run or 2 on the board. But it's drawn up for both sides because it's 3-4-5 the big boppers coming up for Cortland against the big closer. Big opportunity.
See Tannenbaum 5-1, 4.13 ERA, 6 saves this year. 24 innings pitched, 24 hits, just those 3 walks. Again, the one thing that Coach Noonan in this Babson program doesn't tolerate are walks. Tannenbaum hardly walks anybody, just like the Babson starter Gennaro. So Gallagher's night is over. He faced 3 batters, gave up a fielder's choice base runner, but 1 inning pitch, no hits, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. And as you said, Chris, just like Coach Noon drew it up, Tannenbaum is going to try to win it for Babson here in the bottom of the 9th.
I mean, this is playoff baseball right here. The closer against the 3, 4, 5 hitters in a 1-run game with a chance to either to send one team, Babson, to the College World Series or to send force a decisive Game 3 for Cortland. This is what you want right here.
Absolutely. Dan Schweizer steps in. Schweitzer, the third baseman, 0 for 3. First pitch from Tannenbaum is a little bit inside, 1-0.
I remember all these guys pitched yesterday. Tannenbaum got the win in relief in inning 2, hits, a run, a strikeout. Gallagher pitched yesterday and today.
Oh, and he hit him. He hit him on the left hip. Schweitzer reaches base. And the tying run on board to lead off the inning for the 3rd straight time. And that brings up Wyatt Myers, who's 1 for 3, a single, reached on the error by Ollinger back in the 7th.
Myers, 7 home runs, tied for the team lead, 42 RBI, is 3rd.
Tannenbaum working from the stretch. Runner holds. He looks to bunt, puts one down the first baseline, but foul. Surprised?
Wow, am I surprised. I wonder if he's doing that on his own. You're the cleanup hitter. You're the cleanup hitter for a reason. Swing the bat, find a gap, make it 2nd and 3rd with no outs. Maybe even score him if you can find the right gap and if the runner Schweitzer can be off on contact if he reads it well. I want my cleanup man swinging right now.
0-1 the count. We'll see if he is. He looks to bunt again. This one's bunted up the first baseline, and it's fair. Picked up by Scott. Throw to first in time. And they get that first out, but the runner advances to 2nd. Scott.
All right, so I guess maybe the one difference is it's the bottom of the 9th. Just play for the tie instead of trying to go for the win right here. Get the tie, kind of start over in extra innings is what Joe Brown is thinking of right now.
Varian had a sacrifice bunt back in the 7th. That moved Myers along. The tying run right now is Schweitzer. Varian is 1 for 2 with a single and a sac bunt. Tannenbaum pitches it, swung on, fouled off. Scott again made a pretty good play on that sacrifice bunt. Didn't wait for too long.
Well, and he had traffic crossing in front of him. He had the pitcher, Tannenbaum, going one way. He had the first baseman, Valente, had to peel off the other way. And then he had to find the zone to get it down to the second baseman covering.
0-1. Tannenbaum again checks the runner, the pitch. In there for a strike at the knees. 0-2. Strikeout here would be absolutely huge for Max Tannenbaum and the Beavers. Babson made it to this point last year, the Super Regional, trying to get through and break into the College World Series. Bottom of the 9th inning, 2-1 game, the 0-2. Outside and low, a ball and 2 strikes.
And it's vital here for Scott to block everything again. You don't want to get that tying run down to third base with less than 2 outs.
The DH, Matt Bruno, waits on deck. Varian, the number 5 hitter, digs in. And Tannenbaum steps off. So you mentioned, Chris, he did pitch yesterday. Gave up that 1 run. 1-2. Swung on and lined into the stands. That was a shot. Babson fan put a hand on it. It's still 1-2. Bruno on deck, 0 for 3 with the only run scored of the game for Cortland. Large leadoff second for Schweitzer. Tannenbaum takes a long look at him, the pitch. Swung on, hit on the ground to second. Gill has it, throws over to first for the second out. And again, The runner advances to third.
Now hitting for the Red Dragons, the designated
For the third time in the last 3 innings, the Red Dragons have the tying run at third base with 2 outs.
Unbelievable.
And it's up to a freshman.
Matt Bruno, the DH, 0 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice and scored.
3 hits yesterday.
The pitch swung on and hit foul off of Bruno. Bruno 9 for 20 over his last 5 games. The potential tying run Schweitzer 90 feet away. In the 7th and 8th, Cortland put the potential tying run on third base with 2 outs, failed to score both times. Tannenbaum trying to make it 3 in a row and send Babson to the College World Series. 2 strikes away. Schweitzer dances off third. The 0-1. Swung on and fouled off. 0-2. Beavers 1 strike away. But a base hit will tie it. 0-2 the count on Bruno. Tannenbaum to the stretch. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and fouled off. Bruno just got a piece of it. This game has seen 15 hits, all of them singles. Babson's left 12 men on base. Cortland has left 2 runners on third in the last 2 innings. They have a man on third now. The 0-2 from Tannenbaum. Swung on and missed. And for the first time in program history, the Babson College Beavers have advanced to the College World Series. A 2-1 victory over Cortland in Game 2 of the Super Regional, and Babson advances to play in Iowa next weekend. Michael Gennaro, William Gallagher, Max Tannenbaum, the trio of pitchers who get it done for Babson. They knock off Cortland and advance to the D3 College World Series for the first time ever. You've got to feel so elated for these kids, Chris.
Well, obviously, it's a great year. They've been ranked in the top 10 for most of the season and still ranked there now, and obviously heading to their first ever Division III College World Series and the new format this year, the regional and now the super regional. The number 1 seed in their regional, getting to host here for the super regional and defending home turf like they do year in, year out. Able to win both games here against obviously a great squad in the Cortland Red Dragons. But obviously a great season comes to an end for them. Babson, I tell you what, they're going to be a tough out. They're not ranked 7th in the country for no reason, and their starting pitching can match up with anybody, and I'd say their bullpen can as well.
And of course, huge kudos to head coach Matt Noon. He's led this program for 17 years, 2-time Conference Coach of the Year, the winningest coach in program history. And this was the best Babson team, at least by the numbers, in program history. Their last 3 years, they've been regional finalists, bounced in the super regional last year and winning it this year. They are now 38-8 this season. Most wins in program history and the best final record, or they will finish with the best final record overall, and you've got to be happy for Coach Noon after all this time.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can do something for a first time and you've been at it for as long as Noon has been, 17 seasons with this team, as a great job by the Cortland team right in front of us to salute all of the fans decked out in red who made the weekend trip over here to Massachusetts. Great job by them to honor them for making the drive. But, Babson, again, they've fought hard all season long, and top seed or a great regular season in the conference. Did not win the conference tournament, had to get an at-large bid and then turn that into regional and super regional champions.
And as you mentioned, as elated as Babson is, such a frustrating afternoon for Cortland, but this is a team that gave Babson everything they could handle. 3 straight innings there, the 7th, 8th, and 9th. They put the potential tying run at third base with 2 outs. And today, just like yesterday, just about as close as two teams could be matched. They couldn't quite get over the hump, and Babson did.
A couple of one-run games, and that's what Babson thrives on. But and far be it for me to question the head coach Joe Brown, but I feel like they lost it when they bunted with their cleanup hitter. It was kind of a passive way for Cortland to go about it rather than try to attack and say, let's go win this right now. It was take the reins off, whoa, let's just try to tie it by bunting with our number 4 hitter. So I can question that, and I don't think Cortland had a lot of energy for this one this morning. The 11 a.m. start time, they got in and out of a lot of jams. You need your bench to come out and just bound out of the dugout and go, yeah, nice job. Now let's go attack on offense. They didn't seem to have that. Maybe just a little bit too laid back in a couple of different ways today, but certainly to take nothing away from a 34-win team that has now been to the playoffs for 27 consecutive seasons.
An unbelievable run for Cortland. Obviously, this is a program that, like you say, Chris, year in and year out in this tournament. Babson has had so much success over the last few years, but not a run like that. 27 years in a row for Cortland, so obviously coming up 1 game or 2 games short in this Super Regional, nothing to hang their heads about, but obviously a disappointed club as Joe Brown addresses them.
And he just got Isaiah Hudson to laugh about something, so you'll love to see that.
Babson winning pitcher Michael Gennaro. He improves to 8-3 on the year. He's really been the stopper for Babson as far as starting pitching goes all season long. Zach Durant battled through a lot of different challenges today. Came away as the losing pitcher, but gave up just those 2 runs. Durant threw a lot of pitches. He was behind in the count a lot, but certainly the starter for Cortland battled all afternoon.
Yeah, that's the exact right term. He battled through that. He may not have had his best stuff today, but to give up just the 2 runs through the 6 1/3 innings, he earned that great start, that quality start, and somebody's got to get the loss, and unfortunately it is him.
Babson waiting here to receive the trophy. Coach Brown talking to Cortland a little bit here to his own players, and now we'll listen into to this post-game ceremony.
At this time, we'd like to recognize the members of the SUNY Cortland Red Dragons on a terrific season. Andrew Mahalski, Cole Burgess, Mike O'Connor, Matthew Funk, Ryan Corcoran, Dan Schweitzer, Anthony Donofrio, Garrett Hunter, Marcos Perigolaris, Matt Bruno, Wyatt Myers, Danny Coleman, Joseph Kawhi, Ricky Sisto, Liam Krasny, Scott Giordano, Matt Kraft, Zachary Pruden, Shane Magnolo, Jake Casey, Antonio Pergana, Sam Kippen, Mitchell Kavanaugh, Chris Kuzakoulis, Andrew Barnes, Stephen Salisbury, Dan Hobbs, Isaiah Hudson, Noah Ernst, Colin Bavard, Jake Sisto, Ryan Flansburgh, Nick Shepard, James Varian, Kyle Noggle, Paul Franzese, Joe Tardif, Zach Durant, Brian Van Beveren, Matt Fallon, Nick Morena, John Retta, Alex Bardo, Mike Hennessy. And the coaches, Joe Brown, Casey Scott, Nick Anderson, Jeff Cook, Mike Harrington, Tyler Phillips, and Mike Ondrejko. Now the presentation of the trophy. Yep. And now to present the Super Regional Trophy to Babson College is NCAA site representative Michael Lindberg and Babson Director of Athletics and Senior Advancement Mike Lynch. Congratulations to the Beavers and good luck at the College World Series.